The wind howled across the jagged cliffs of Karath, 7, carrying the tang of ozone and scorched stone. Mechanic Leora Cade wiped the sweat from her brow, smudging her fingers with oil and metallic dust. In the valley below, the dragon waited, massive and trembling, a shadow against the jagged rocks. Its scales were mottled gray, dulled by years of blindness, and its eyes hollow, like black holes that had forgotten how to see. Leora knelt beside the creature, tools spread around her like a surgeon's instruments. "Easy, girl," she murmured. "We're going to fix this. I promise." The dragon's tail flicked nervously, kicking up pebbles that clattered against the cliff walls. It hissed, a sound somewhere between fear and trust, and nudged her hand with its snout. She examined the ancient ocular cavity. Time, battle, and disease had ravaged it, leaving only scar tissue and fragile nerves. No ordinary cure would work. Leora had designed a visor, a delicate, crystalline lens powered by a self-sustaining energy core, capable of interfacing with the dragon's optic nerves and compensating for years of degeneration. If it worked, the dragon would see again. Hours passed as she adjusted the delicate filaments, her fingers trembling with both fatigue and anticipation. Finally, the visor clicked into place, its lenses glowing faintly with a soft amber light. She stepped back. "All right," she said softly. "Let's see if you can." The dragon blinked. Then it roared, not in pain but in wonder. Its massive head turned, scanning the cliffs, the valley, the sky, and Leora herself. Its pupils contracted and expanded, pupils focusing, taking in colors, shadows, movement. The world it hadn't seen for decades. Leora laughed, a sound of relief and joy. "You see. You actually see." The dragon nudged her gently, its giant head lowering in gratitude. Leora reached up and stroked the warm scales near its neck. "We did it together," she whispered. 2 days later. The valley was calm, almost serene. Leora and the dragon, now named Tyvran, were testing the visor's capabilities. Tyvran flew short distances, landing with precision, his eyes tracking every detail. The other creatures of Karath, 7, paused and watched, sensing the dragon's regained strength. Leora adjusted the visor once more, fine-tuning its neural interface. "Almost perfect," she said. "Just a few more calibrations." From above, the stars seemed ordinary, distant and eternal. Leora didn't notice the first flicker of light that tore across the sky, a distant warship entering the system. She had no reason to.
Day 3.
Leora was repairing one of Tyvran's talons, fractured in his younger, wilder days, when the sky suddenly ignited. 4 massive vessels descended from orbit, hulls reflecting the twin suns, engines trailing brilliant blue fire. The ships were alien, far larger and more advanced than anything Leora had ever seen. Tyvran roared, wings unfurling, as he stepped protectively in front of her. "What are they?" she whispered, fear rising. "Visitors," said a voice in her head, Tyvran's, amplified by the visor. He was calm but alert. "Or hunters." The ship's descent disturbed the valley. Dust swirled like a storm, small rocks and debris lifted by the downward thrusters. Leora grabbed a rock to steady herself, her mind racing. Why here? Why now? A beam of light shot toward the ground, scanning the valley. The dragon hissed, the visor amplifying his senses. "They're detecting us. Stay close." Leora realized the truth instantly. The aliens weren't here for her or the valley. They were here for Tyvran. Tyvran, the last of his line, the imperial dragon of Karath, 7. His sight restored, and they had come because they had finally noticed. First contact. The nearest ship landed with a quake, that made the cliffs tremble. A ramp extended, revealing figures clad in shimmering armor, their helmets reflecting the suns. They were humanoid, but their limbs were too long, their skin a metallic hue. Leora stepped in front of Tyvran. "Wait. We come in peace," she shouted, but the aliens didn't respond with words. They raised their weapons, scanning Tyvran. Tyvran growled low in his throat, and Leora felt the vibration through the visor. "I will protect you," he said. "No one will take you." The aliens hesitated. They had expected to find a blind, weak dragon, an easy target. But Tyvran's sight gave him power they hadn't calculated, reflexes, awareness, a presence that dominated the valley. The battle. It began with a roar. Tyvran leapt into the air, his wings generating shockwaves that tore at the alien ship's stabilizers. Energy beams struck the cliffs, chipping stone, but he moved with incredible precision, avoiding direct hits. Leora ran alongside him, using her engineering tools to activate defensive drones she had hidden for emergencies. Small but fast, they intercepted alien fire, giving Tyvran openings to strike. The aliens were organized, disciplined, and advanced, but they had not anticipated this. One by one, their ships took damage, engines disabled, hulls scorched. Tyvran's roar shook the valley like thunder, sending shockwaves that grounded even the smallest craft. Finally, the alien commander descended, towering, armor gleaming. He aimed a concentrated energy lance at Tyvran, but Leora acted instinctively, tossing a flare from her tool pack. The light blinded the alien sensors temporarily. Tyvran lunged, claws striking the lance and shattering it. The aliens retreated. 3 ships fled to orbit, leaving one behind, its commander kneeling on scorched ground. Aftermath. Leora approached cautiously. Tyvran lowered his head to nuzzle her shoulder, sensing her fear. "They will return," he said softly. "I know," she whispered. "But now you can see, Tyvran. Now you can fight back." The alien commander rose, raising his hands in submission. "We underestimated you, underestimated him," he said, voice translator crackling. "The dragon, he is not blind, not weak." Tyvran's eyes glowed amber. "Healer gave me sight. That makes him strong." The alien paused, then retreated. The remaining fleet followed, disappearing into the black of space. Leora and Tyvran stood on the cliff, watching the sky, listening to the silence after the storm. The dragon lowered himself, wings folding, and allowed her to climb onto his back. "Where now?" she asked. "Anywhere," he said. "But watch the stars. They are coming." Weeks later, the valley had returned to calm, but Tyvran and Leora patrolled the cliffs vigilantly. Word had reached other stars, other species. The Imperial Dragon was no longer hidden, and news traveled fast in the void. Leora improved the visor, adding new sensors, new neural links. Tyvran's sight was better than ever, able to see energy signatures, infrared, and even subtle changes in gravitational fields. They trained, not just to survive, but to prepare for the inevitable return of the alien fleet. And when night fell, Tyvran looked to the stars, amber eyes reflecting the distant glow of approaching ships. "Soon," he said. "They will come." "But we'll be ready," Leora said, tightening the straps of the visor. "Yes," he agreed, lowering his head to nuzzle her again. "Because now I see everything, and nothing will take me by surprise." Above, the stars continued to watch, and far beyond the galaxy, for alien warships plotted a course back to Karath, 7, unaware that the blind dragon who had once depended on a mechanic's hands was now the fiercest guardian of the valley. And so began the legend of Tyvran, the dragon who regained his sight, and Leora, the mechanic whose courage and ingenuity